proving once and for all that boys can do everything better than girls, including being girls. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Blade Showcase. Today we're going to be looking at Floren. Floren, who I always see as sort of a textbook by-the-numbers sort of healer. Now, obviously, Floren is a Bitball, and the only one out of all the Bitballs that is an Earth element, which can be quite useful if you need to fit another Earth element onto your team. So, by looking at the Affinity Charts, I'll show you what I mean when I say he is a by-the-numbers healer. So, once you have max Affinity, you're going to have a 25% additional healing for your team, and this does, in fact, stack with the accessories that increase your healing. You're going to be healing a lot, especially from your Lilium Dance. Very, very important stuff. And if you have Floren on Nia, then you have that healing circle going on. So there's just a lot of party healing potential from just a single button press, and that's what makes Floren so useful. As well, there is Blossom Fall. If you ever find yourself in the off chance where you would die, all of your teammates will have increased HP by 100% at max rank. This is very useful, especially in the main story. If you find yourself dying often to AoE and you're still trying to figure out the mechanics of the encounter, this will really come in handy because it'll keep your party members alive, meaning that you can kind of, even if you don't win, you'll kind of see what the boss fight or the boss encounter is all about while you're on the grounds waiting to be revived. And of course there is White Lilies. This works really, really well in tandem with the Blade Art, which reduces your aggro reduction when you're attacking from behind. So obviously Floren is very, very straightforward as a healer. They tried to make sort of the ideal by-the-book healer, as it were, and that's kind of what his main niche is, though. Very, very useful if you're in the market for a very simple kind of Bitball. And in comparison to, like, say, Dahlia, who's more offensive-oriented, and Boreas, who's very defense-oriented, really, like, these Bitballs work quite well. Floren's quite good, though, so if you're just looking for honest-to-goodness healing, then Floren might be the guy for you. Now, before we continue, we're going to look at the Aux cores. Now, we're going to be using telepathy just because we want to have as many Blade Art triggers as possible for the encounter we're going into, because he has Debuff Cancel. Debuff Cancel, I wish every Blade had it, just because it really does save you from the headache that is Tyranitar Cruridil's Murder Rate ability. So when you have this going on, you will be able to kind of scrub that from the record, and you'll be able to continue your healing just like you always wanted to. As well, we're going to have Hunter's Chemistry, because we want to continuously and as quickly as possible have max Affinity as soon as we can, and that's just due to the fact that he has the passive that increases healing by 25% at max Affinity. So all very, very good stuff. Again, like I said, textbook healer, no surprises here whatsoever, aside from the fact that he is actually a guy. But really though, like, what more could you want from a healer? Very effective healing, and honestly, if you've never used a healer before, then this might be the best one to start off with, just because of how simple he is and how it synergizes well with a kind of a beginner's playstyle. So yeah, really, really good stuff. We're going to cut the video, and I will show you today's demonstration. Okay, so here we are at the demonstration, once again, Tyranitar Cruridil, and this time we're going to be running Floren on Zeke. Now, the funny thing about having any Bitball on either Zeke or Rex is that instead of having a healing circle, we're going to be using a shell shot. Depending on how far along in the game you are, this may or may not be useful, just due to the fact that Bitballs don't do very much damage overall. But once you have this late game stuff, it actually is a full heal, especially if you were to couple that along with Floren's passives at full affinity. Very, very useful stuff, and that's kind of going to be the name of the game over here as we're playing. You'll actually find that I'll be switching blades quite a bit, because the goal of this particular fight is to build up as much meter as we can. So we're actually not going to be staying as Floren very much until we need healing, which thankfully we won't need as long as we're able to top ourselves up before we do the switching. Okay, so next thing will be the Hyper Graviton. I actually might have to build this myself if we're not careful. Well, in any case though, I could still act as a healer for this particular one. And we do have a Cassandra as the tank. I've said this before, but for those of you guys that haven't seen my my ranking video of all the different blades, Cassandra I've ranked as one of the best tanks in the entire game, right after Poppy Alpha in terms of being a block tank. Very reliable, so we're not going to have very much trouble staying alive until Morag decides that it's more important to play his damage because she is also running Zenobia on her team. Okay, so we built ourselves a good Earth Orb. I'm guessing the next one we're going to be going for will be a Water or Light Orb, most likely Water. So once Rex does this level 2 combo, Aegeon will finish off with a level 3. So here we go. Oh, that was fast. Thankfully, we have a crit Mithra on our team. So that's kind of the thing, though. When you have max affinity and then you have the Shell Shot, it should be a very sizable heal. You saw I did like almost 3,000 HP in healing. And like I said earlier, it does stack. One thing I forgot to mention earlier in the video is the specials that Floren has. Particularly the special level 2, it's very, very good. It's like a lot of healers have this, but it's just very, very important to keep in mind due to the fact that it's going to be a full heal for the entire party based on how much damage you do. So yeah, definitely important stuff to look into. I'm trying to think of like what other options we can go for. I think we might have no choice but to have to switch into a Dahlia here. And then see if we can build a Dark Orb by building 2 levels of this level 2 special if Rex is clued in. Yep, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, so I'll quickly just see if I can get my aggro down with this one. There we go. And the aggro will go straight back to Morag because she's the one doing the special. So we're doing pretty well so far. One of the main things, also I kind of just want to give you a little bit of a disclaimer, is that at this point in the game, at least for my game, most of my party members have really, really high trust levels, meaning that they can tear through fairly easily with their arts and auto attacks. Okay, so here's where that murder ray that I mentioned. So yeah, we got doomed, but thankfully we also get a debuff cancel, or we should get a debuff cancel. Okay, we're doing okay. Okay, next thing on our list should be... Okay, we're gonna try to build electric by having 2 levels of earth. And the nice thing about having Floren is the fact that, again, spamming 2 level 2 combos is very beneficial because it's a party-wide heal. So yeah, that's gonna be some pretty fun stuff for us. Oh, actually, you know what? No, okay, we're gonna do the Wind Orb first then. And then I think we're just gonna sit on a level 2 combo for a little bit. So yeah, let's cancel this out, and that's our level 2 combo. We're gonna sit on this just because, again, it's so useful. We don't even have to worry about building a level 3 combo. So here we go with the Wind Orb. That is 4 orbs under our belts right now. I think 1 more, and it should be enough to seal the deal on this boss. Like I said earlier, we're very, very high on trust levels, so we're gonna do quite a bit of damage. Okay, so yeah, Titan's Awakening is coming in. I might actually have to cancel my plans. I might need to cancel my plans if he decides to do any like crazy shenanigans like an Ultra Annihilation Flare, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, 2 levels, hopefully we switch over to Pandoria soon, and that cannon I'm not too worried about. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, so we could draw out the fight a little bit longer if we wanted to, but just due to the fact that we're, like whenever you do a healing showcase, or whenever I do a healing showcase, sorry, is that like, if we're all alive to make this boring, then I think that was pretty much time well spent. How about, yeah, we have Wind Orb, and we'll see what combinations we can do with this one, if any. Okay, so yeah, we could build Ice. No, never mind. Okay, we're just gonna cancel out. This should be more than enough, though. Honestly, this is like tons of damage that we can deal with. Have Dahlia go first. Again, Dahlia is super useful to have, especially if you're playing around with your chain attacks. Yeah, I guess Pyro's next. Yeah, unfortunately we... actually, no, fortunately we didn't have Mithra on our team to deal with, so that's gonna be nice. Cassandra's up. So we have our 1 round extend. We're gonna see if we can keep our round extends to a minimum here. So yeah, that's good. We got the miss. And switch into... yeah, we'll have Floren do the full heal, even though we probably don't need it. See how many round extends we can get before we go to the full burst. Pyro's next. Hopefully you don't hit that Wind Orb. Yes, excellent. Okay, so at this point then now it just becomes a matter of getting lucky and hitting things as little as possible. Okay, so here comes Dahlia. We're gonna go ahead and go for that super effective. So I think this is the most we can do, because now at this point everyone in our party is gonna hit something. So here we go. Pandoria is gonna get this hit. Yeah, and I think, yeah, we'll just have Zenobia do the final hit, and that's going to be some massive damage because Zenobia does so much on her own. So here we go. I think this should be curtains then. Yeah, look at that damage. Wow. All those multipliers. Okay, so yeah, that basically does it though. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, whenever you do a healing showcase, as long as everyone stays alive for us to reach this point, to the point where there's like no surprises, then that blade has basically done their job. And that's kind of the thing about Floren though, is that Floren has all the tools that he needs to be a respectable healer, and like, there's no surprises whatsoever in terms of his playstyle. Very, very good stuff. Team heals all around. Obviously, we use the sort of the attacker variant. If we had on Nia, it would be even more boring to do because she has the party heal art, so it's kind of just her twirling around and healing the entire party, making this fight even less of a spectacle. So anyways, though, that is the Floren Showcase. Really, really good blade overall. There's plenty of great Earth Blades out there, so if you need the healer, then Floren's definitely the guy that you should go for. And otherwise, though, just a very good healer overall, particularly if you're making your way through the main story. But anyways, guys, that basically does it for today's showcase. I hope you enjoyed, and we're actually running out of blades to do showcases for, so thanks everyone for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.